Hey everyone, it's Nick from Nick's Crossing, and today I wanted to film the running portion related to part 1 of my Strasburg video, and this is part 2, and this is only of a 2-part series. So I believe there was some type of issue with the Vivitar camera on my media car. For some reason the video did not want to upload with the strand of videos that were connected and edited within. But anyways, today we're going to record the running portion and a small explanation of how the Strasburg runs their 3 steam engines at the same time. So the Strasburg Railroad runs 3, I want to say early 20th century steam engines. And they are the engine number 90, engine number 89 with the Canadian National plate, and also engine 475. So these 3 engines share the single rail track that includes 3 passing sections. One passing section is at Strasburg Station, which I'll demonstrate here. The center is at Cherry Hill, or where the Cherry Crest Farm, Adventure Farm is at. And further up the tracks, you'll run into the other passing section in Paradise, Pennsylvania. Now the Paradise section links up to the Amtrak, which is still a very active line, which I explained in the first video. So when you arrive at the station, you'll notice first that your engine is facing your set of cars. Now this engine simulates number 90, and this is a Lionel 080 561 Pennsylvania road name. So Lionel actually makes the number 90 set with the Strasburg road name. So this engine and cars are actually the closest representation that I have to what Strasburg runs. So when you first arrive, your engine's facing your coaches, and they're actually going to pull out of the station in reverse like this. So the engine's now leaving Strasburg Station on the left track. And let's see, a little bit of wheel slip there. It's kind of funny. And we're going to embark on a few miles of the straight section of track. It does have a few bends in it, but it's nothing too crazy. And there's also a little bit of an elevation change. So we're going to approach our first set of passing tracks after disembarking from Strasburg Station. And this would be the Cherry Hill or Cherry Crest Farm, right across from the Adventure Farm. So usually there's an engine stopped on the left track there, and they await to pass by, and this engine usually has the right of way. They also change it up sometimes if the engine returning from Paradise, it's like running faster, so sometimes they let them go. So now we're entering in to the Paradise Junction here, and the Amtrak track should be probably close to where my track number 2 is. But the engine's going to clear this first switch, and then the engine's going to stop. And the engine's going to travel in reverse across this switch here, which will be turned. The engine will stop, change direction, and pass the set of cars on the left side. And they usually tell you to wave and carry on for the engineer and the whole crew inside the steam engine. And then once we clear the switch down there, once the engine clears the switch, they'll throw the switch to recouple to our Madison cars here. All right, now we're going to start our journey back to Strasburg from the Paradise Junction here. And they usually like to travel back a little bit faster, and I believe it is downgrade. Also on your journey you will encounter a very small bridge that they actually rebuilt within the last couple years. But before, they used to tell you to take your feet off the floor of the coaches to actually relieve some of the weight in the cars, which I always thought was kind of funny. You also had some wheel slip back there. Alright. So our engine's now approaching the Cherry Hill passing track. And the engine will usually wait for the oncoming train from Strasburg. So once they're able to proceed, they'll continue through the other switch, passing the engine that's awaiting the other track. They now have 2 engines on the single rail operating. Now sometimes you do have to wait at the Cherry Crest passing until an engine shows up from Strasburg or the returning direction from Paradise. Alrighty guys, our engine's now approaching the Strasburg terminal and platform here. So once the engine stops right before clearing the switch, they're going to decouple the train from the set of coaches. They're going to proceed through this switch here. They're going to stop, they're going to switch the track, and they're going to go in reverse to then reconnect with the other coaches that they just dropped off. So we're going to go back here. And then once that track is clear, they're going to switch and then reconnect with the set of coaches. So it's actually a very efficient operation, so they can run 3 engines at the same time if they have to. Usually it's only 2 engines, but during the peak holiday seasons, they'll run 3 engines. So the rest of the video, I just wanted to have a run day of this set going around the track in reverse, and then also run my Plymouth #1 from Strasburg, and also the Amtrak up top here. All right, guys, all aboard. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me in this mock run day here. And this is just a basic explanation of how their operations go out throughout the day. If you'd like to go to the Strasburg Railroad, I definitely recommend to show up on time because their engines leave exactly when your ticket says. After the Strasburg, I usually like to check out the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum that's across the street that's unfortunately closed right now due to restrictions. And then down the street, you actually have the National Toy Train Museum. There's the Caboose Motel or Caboose Hotel. You can actually spend the night in a caboose. Then next to that is the restaurant that's actually located inside a passenger car that kind of shakes and moves when you're sitting down. So it feels like you're actually on a train. Other things to do around the town that are train related, you have the Choo Choo Barn, Train Garden, and Train Shop, which are awesome to check out. The Choo Choo Barn Garden has tons and tons of animated figurines. They have the whole fire that happens inside of a residential home, and the fire department actually drives up and puts out the fire. It's an amazing scene. So on the Choo Choo Barn Train Garden, they actually have a Strasburg mock-up, and it actually runs what I did today. The train will actually drive up, decouple the cars, drive them back in reverse, and recouple with the cars, and then take it back to Strasburg Station. And that's so cool because it's through a computer program, so they're not sitting there doing it manually. But it's just really cool to see that they program that in their trains. But anyways, guys, I'd like to thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you guys in future videos. Thank you so much.